Hello everyone and welcome to another video from Gun Gamers. My name is Eric and today we're going to talk about tracer units. Now tracer units are one of those cool things that you use when you want your airsoft gun to have that little bit of extra pizzazz. I personally really like tracer units. I use them for any build I plan to use indoors, and I especially like them for when I'm outdoors doing night games because especially under night vision, tracers really make the BBs glow. So I've been on the tracer train for a long time. I've used a whole bunch of different tracer units, but today we're going to talk about this particular tracer unit, which was sent over courtesy of evic.com. So this is the new EMG licensed CGS group SCI-SIX mock suppressor tracer host. First things first, this is a licensed replica of the SCI-SIX, SCI-SIX, not 100% sure how to pronounce that, from CGS Group. They are a real firearms company that makes firearms accessories, notably suppressors and other muzzle devices, but this is a licensed replica, so obviously it does not actually serve as a functional suppressor for firearms. This is meant to be a quick detach tracer host for your variety of airsoft guns. I have this on a KWA ERG, which it did not walk off of, so that's nice. And the way that this works is that it is made of two major components. There is the actual mock suppressor itself, and there is the muzzle device that attaches to your replica. So with this muzzle device, it has threading on the outside of it so that you can actually put this on and screw it on counterclockwise, and you snug it up tight, and it is on there rock solid with absolutely no wiggle and no wobble, which I really like as an attachment system for airsoft purposes. I can't speak to how well it works on the real firearm, but for airsoft purposes, this attachment system means that there is no wobble in this tracer unit when it is mounted. Since this is a QD type mock suppressor tracer host thing, if you wanted to just have the muzzle device on a variety of guns and own this one tracer to move from gun to gun, that is something you can do. From my understanding, they will be selling these muzzle devices separately. So I actually plan to get a couple more muzzle devices that are compatible with this and then just be able to move this from gun to gun that I'm using. Then the actual tracer host mock suppressor itself is a CNC'd aluminum construction with a anodized finish, and all of the trademarks are engraved where you would expect to see them for a licensed replica like this. The mock suppressor is made of a few major components. There is the end cap on the front, which can be unscrewed to disassemble the tracer. There is the main body of the suppressor, which can also unscrew from the QD portion in the rear, which has the threads both on the back to screw onto the muzzle device, and it has 14mm threads on the front in order to attach your preferred 14mm negative tracer unit. I find this particularly nice because I like that you can actually solidly place your tracer unit and not have it wobble around inside the suppressor at all. So between the thread on of the QD suppressor itself and then the thread on of the tracer unit within the suppressor, you basically have no risk of baffle striking due to anything being misaligned, which I think is a really, really nice feature. But you can also buy this without the included tracer, or you can use this with any tracer unit that will fit inside. The inner diameter of this whole thing is a little over 35mm, and then the internal caps that are included to suspend any other tracer unit have an inner diameter of just about 30mm. So you can stabilize basically any tracer unit within this thing somehow. You can either screw on your tracer unit to the 14mm negative threads toward the rear, and that will keep it close to your muzzle device, super concentric and super solid so that you have your best chance of just everything going through without any issue. Or you can suspend your tracer unit to the rear just using the spring and the caps, or you can suspend your tracer unit to the front if you have an extended inner barrel. So you do get a lot of options with how to mount a tracer within this mock suppressor, and I think that's really cool. I personally prefer using the threads because that's the most solid and has the least chance of anything walking or shaking or rattling. Now, if you buy the entire kit and not just the mock suppressor and muzzle device, you buy the entire kit with the tracer unit included, they do send an e-shooter type tracer unit that is included in this package and is compatible with those 14mm negative threads. I really like this unit. It's got 3 primary modes. There's muzzle flash only, tracer and muzzle flash, and tracer only. So the first one does just about what you'd expect. It triggers a muzzle flash every time a BB goes through the sensor, and it does not illuminate the BB. It just does the muzzle flash. It's kind of neat. I could imagine it being useful for certain film props, but obviously if I'm bothering to turn a tracer on and drain the battery, I want the tracer to be active. So you can also turn on muzzle flash and tracer, and this was the setting I played with the most when I was at Bad Cat Airsoft this weekend. And of course, the final mode is just the tracer unit. Does exactly what you'd expect. It just lets the tracer do its thing and flash every time a BB comes through to illuminate it. Now, as to the performance of this tracer unit, I found it did very well. At Bad Cat Airsoft in Webster, when I was testing this out, it had no trouble keeping up with the rate of fire I was able to achieve with semi-auto spam, and when I did some quick testing in full auto, it had no trouble keeping up with the rate of fire of this stock KWA Q10, which is just about 20 rounds a second with this tuned for indoor limits. And I really liked that the BBs came out bright enough to be visible with all of the lights on at Bad Cat. So it was actually semi-bright in there, and the BBs were still very obvious. Now, as for downsides to this tracer unit, I can really only think of one, and that is that you really do need to make sure you have this muzzle device locked onto your threading before you start taking this off and putting it on a whole bunch, because the threading does go the same direction counterclockwise as the muzzle device's threading, which is 14mm counterclockwise. So as you crank this on, you may over tighten that muzzle device somewhat, or if you don't have it quite tight enough, as you crank it off, the muzzle device might come off with it. So make sure to really use that set screw, keep this thing in line, and you can use some Loctite on your muzzle device if you feel like it. I personally did because honestly, I don't plan to ever take this off. If that didn't give away the game, I do really like this tracer unit. It is a cool looking, like realistic replica. The fact that it's licensed by a real suppressor company. It's not super clone correct because as far as I know, this is not an issued suppressor to any particular unit, but for pure functionality and overall looks and overall use, I really like this. I think it's really solid. I think it's a well-executed design. And the fact that it's priced competitively with other licensed QD mock suppressors and tracer hosts is a nice bonus. So, full disclosure, as I said, this was sent to me by evic.com, and they did give me an affiliate link, which I will put in the description. I did not sign up for the affiliate program until after I was sure I liked this, but I do like it. So if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If this seems like something you have a use for and it solves any problems you've had with other QD tracer type units, go ahead and go to the link in the description and buy one from that link, and you will actually help support the Gun Gamers YouTube channel. And if you want to learn more about the events I run with Gun Gamers Productions, go ahead and hit the link in the description to gungamersproductions.com. And yeah, that's a quick video today. I just wanted to talk about this neat thing that I was sent, and it's pretty cool. Yeah.